Aura is a concept that's been around for quite a while, with Oxford defining it as the distinctive atmosphere or quality that seems to surround and be generated by a person, thing, or place. A haunted house could have an eerie aura that makes you uneasy. An old professor could have an aura of knowledge that makes you confident in their wisdom before they even speak a word. Basically, aura is the vibe that someone or something gives. In recent pop culture, the meaning of aura has been truncated, and these days, when someone mentions something having aura, it usually means it's pretty badass. A basketball player that has a smooth and consistent game isn't referred to as someone that gives off an aura of skill, they simply have aura. A football player who's always calm and composed isn't referred to as someone who has an aura of confidence, they simply have aura. Aura equals cool, badass, fly, and other adjacent terms. Aura farming refers to the act of attempting to accumulate more aura by doing seemingly vain activities for the sole purpose of looking cooler. For example, being nonchalant during serious or surprising moments is seen as having aura. Posing a certain unnecessary way is seen as aura farming, along with acting a lot cooler than you really are. Although aura farming has a negative connotation, some people are able to rise above the occasion and aura farm properly, to the point where they're admired for doing vainly cool things because they just have the sauce like that. For many of us, the first and most prominent aura farmer we came in contact with is Sir Piccolo from Planet Namek. This man is known for going out of his way to strike poses and do things that make him seem as badass as possible, even in the most helpless situations. Even when Piccolo gets his ass kicked, everyone views him as someone with immense aura due to his successful and strategic aura farming tactics that make you believe he has a chance when he really doesn't. He's the forefather of aura farming, and his methods are celebrated to this very day. Since Piccolo, anime and manga has had its fair share of aura farmers. Some are able to successfully capture the essence of aura, such as characters like Killua Azolde from Hunter x Hunter. However, many completely fail in capturing the essence of what makes a good aura farmer. The laziest approach to aura farming is to simply make a character nonchalant while being extremely strong, as someone with those qualities is objectively badass. But aura farming is an art, not a formula. A creator needs to make sure the character they're aura farming with naturally exudes badassery, even when they're not actively trying. This is done through the world they reside in, how much everyone around them glazes them, and how their adversaries are built up, so that when they are inevitably defeated, that much more aura is gained. The internet has long been searching for the greatest aura farmer of the new generation, and with the recent worldwide sensation Solo Leveling, I believe we may have found the chosen one. Meet Sung Jinwoo, the man whose picture will one day be next to the word aura in the dictionary. Damn, he's already aura farming without me even mentioning the story he's in. I'm telling you, this guy is generational. Everything in Solo Leveling exists for the sole purpose of allowing Jinwoo to effectively aura farm at historic rates. The setting, the characters, the plot, everything, which makes Solo Leveling an extremely fitting title. It's as if the author took skill tree points from the narrative and characters and put them all into Jinwoo's aura farming. Although this may sound like a disaster considering most stories are hard to enjoy without a meaningful plot and characters, Solo Leveling invests so heavily in Jinwoo's aura farming that when supplemented by an extremely high quality production, Solo Leveling ends up being one of the most entertaining shows in recent memory. Solo Leveling takes place in a world where a series of gates containing magical beasts began appearing, and people awaken abilities to fight them. These people are known as hunters, and they're ranked from S to E in descending order of strength. Once someone awakens as a hunter, no amount of training or hard work can result in them jumping classes. The main character, Sung Jinwoo, begins Solo Leveling labeled as the weakest hunter in all of mankind. He's so garbage at being a hunter that people know him for it. He's well aware of how weak he is, yet he continues to trek into dungeons so that he can support his family, as his dad is in Azkaban and his mother is AFK from life. This is important since Jinwoo's aura level is as low as it can possibly be in the beginning when we warm up to him. This means that no matter what loss Jinwoo sustains later on, his aura level will never be this low. We call this the minimum aura threshold. Jinwoo ends up awakening an ability that allows him to be the only hunter that can climb through the ranks, going from E to S rank hunter in less than 2 seasons. In the world of Solo Leveling, there exists guilds of hunters, with the most prominent guilds being headed by S rank hunters who are known as celebrities and receive all the greatest luxuries in life. Being a competent hunter opens a lot of doors, and many of the higher rank hunters indulge in these luxuries, while constantly scouting for new strong hunters that will allow them to get a foot up on the competition. S rank hunters in particular literally give off a terrifying aura that sends chills down the spines of everyone around them, warning them to never mess with them. While Jinwoo levels up and gains extremely powerful abilities, he finds himself in much more dangerous situations as he goes through demonic realms and dungeons that mercilessly slaughter even the brightest of A-rank hunters. Instead of struggling through these obstacles, Jinwoo does what he does best. He aura farms. As Jinwoo gets stronger throughout Solo Leveling, his composure, way of talking, powers, and others' perception of him change in ways that grant him unheard levels of aura. One of the major aspects of Jinwoo's aura is his composure. Once he realizes that he's pretty much a glitch in the hunter system, he begins oozing confidence, even in extremely dangerous situations. During most of Solo Leveling, Jinwoo enters a gate with hunters who are technically ranked higher than him since he's officially E-rank for a lot of the story. On these expeditions, these high-rank hunters usually show off their skills, then get stuck in a seemingly hopeless situation. This is effective for Jinwoo's aura farming since these characters show off their abilities and prowess before being saved by Jinwoo. We see these strong hunters get their minds broken by how doomed their situation is, just for Jinwoo to unleash his powers while having the calmest look on his face. He also enters the dungeon with casual attire compared to the special robes and armor that every other hunter wears, as the equipment he gets from leveling up through the system stays invisible. This creates a visual dichotomy between Jinwoo and the other hunters. Although those hunters look more prepared, there's never a shadow of a doubt as to who's stronger between them and Jinwoo, as he always looks like he's partaking in a training exercise. The strongest source of Jinwoo's bountiful aura farming is his extremely impressive and extensive bag that was handcrafted by the Elden Aura gods to make him look as cool as possible in combat. Not only is Jinwoo extremely proficient in close quarters combat, he has the ability to create a shadow army composed of the foes he's defeated. He will literally pull up, beat your ass while yawning, then make you one of his minions. This is extremely effective for Jinwoo's aura farming, as a lot of his fights against major monsters consist of him standing with his hands in his pockets while his army of fallen foes slaughters everything around him. The terrifying strength of each of his shadows elevates Jinwoo's aura even more when he decides to fight, as he's their master. When Jinwoo gets serious, he puts the fear of God into magical beasts who have known nothing but crushing humans for their entire existence. Fights in solo leveling are never a matter of can Jinwoo defeat him? They're always what's Jinwoo gonna pull out of his bag this time to embarrass this guy? Even as the rank of the opponents go up, Jinwoo's composure when approaching them never really changes. Jinwoo having an army he can rely on and work together with helps him with his aura farming, as he can be up against someone that's objectively stronger than himself alone. However, the shadows come through and allow Jinwoo to defeat said opponents before turning them into his own shadows, increasing both his combat capability and aura. Another way Jinwoo is able to aura farm so easily is how other characters in solo leveling perceive him. The way side characters glaze Jinwoo is truly sublime. Obviously, Jinwoo is going to be glazed by lower rank hunters, but that kind of aura farming isn't very tide shifting. The real aura gain happens when S rank guild leaders go out of their way to meet Jinwoo because he's that much of an anomaly. These people who are seen as the pinnacle of strength in their country are flabbergasted at how composed, powerful, and quick Jinwoo is, and they bicker amongst themselves to even be in this man's presence like a bunch of teenage girls. 90% of the conversations in solo leveling are about Jinwoo and how mysterious he is, even when he isn't present. This historic level of glaze makes it feel like the world revolves around Jinwoo, while Jinwoo himself is still approaching the world in a very nonchalant manner. Jinwoo doesn't declare himself as the strongest hunter, and doesn't really care about the wealth and fame that comes with being a higher tier hunter. He simply wants to bring his family back together and save his mother. That's aura right there. What the hell is this? Crying? In my aura farming show? Man, get the shit out of here. All of this aura farming and build up in solo leveling so far has led up to a singular event where Jinwoo planted his flag as one of the coolest characters ever. In the end of season 2, a special raid consisting of only S-rank hunters embarks on an island where chimeras have evolved in strength and intelligence, and they need to be eradicated. There's a brief period of all of these S-rank hunters who don't really feel like S-rank, to be honest. They're kind of generic looking bums, where they showcase their power and defeat the bulk of the chimera ants, just for the meruem of the ants to pull up and nonchalantly dismantle everyone, kind of like what Jinwoo does to most magical beasts. We see these S-rank hunters, the strongest hunters in the world, get discarded like scrap, and we see their mental break as if they're low-rank hunters going on their first dangerous mission. The strongest hunter from Japan gets destroyed, and guess who he's thinking about in his final moments? Sung Jinwoo. And what does Jinwoo do? He casually gets up from Korea and teleports to the island, appearing as the savior shepherd who will bring hope back to his S-ranked sheep. Even in the most dire of situations, one that affects the entire world, Jinwoo is sitting on top of a building and aura farming. His victory against such a powerful, inhuman creature that kind of mirrors him will not simply add to his aura, it will exponentially magnify it. I respect solo leveling for going all in on Jinwoo's aura farming and making him seem as cool as possible. It doesn't try to half-ass this aspect and doesn't pretend it's a deep story with an interesting cast and plot. Once you accept that those elements from traditional stories aren't present and that solo leveling is mostly vibes based, you can start buying into Jinwoo's legendary aura farming and actually enjoy it. I'm not even being satirical here. I wasn't the biggest fan of solo leveling due to the complete lack of substance previously, but with how Jinwoo consistently elevates his cool factor, after a while I couldn't help but be flabbergasted at his presence alongside the sidecast. Solo leveling is well aware of what it is, and the culmination of all of these elements have led to Jinwoo being one of the greatest aura farmers fiction has ever seen.